between the San Diego Chargers and the Atlanta Falcons. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis, beyond thrilled to be bringing you the Super Bowl. All the pomp, all the circumstance, all the pageantry. It doesn't get any better than this, partner.
I'm loving sharing this booth with you, sharing this moment, this type of a game. For all the teachers who said we'd never make it, we're here.
And we talk these last couple weeks about the buildup, the anticipation. I think these guys are just ready to get out there and get this thing started.
And I know that both coaching staffs have spent considerable time trying to figure out how to best bring their team up to a peak without taking them over the edge and causing a lot of issues early in the game.
And you don't think much of a pregame speech is needed for this one?
I think the pregame speeches were the shortest all year. If they didn't just say, let's go get them, guys, they probably talked too much.
We begin the next half-century of Super Bowls to a strobe of flashes. Super Bowl 51 from Houston is underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Sheds a second man.
He's building up some momentum, isn't he?
So here's the Charger offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback out of North Carolina State. It's Phillip Rivers.
In some ways, he reminds me of a past NFL great who played the quarterback position as well. Jawing with the opposition, trash-talking a little bit, doesn't mind getting hit and battered around some. That kind of gets him into the game. But once it's time to lock in, Phillip Rivers does that as well as any quarterback in the league.
They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. And he's not going anywhere to start the night. They stop him at the line of scrimmage. A.J. Hawk in to make the tackle. The 11 offensive starters for the Chargers of San Diego on your screen, and one of them who provides a lot of experience, certainly Danny Woodhead.
Love him. We think of him as a third down back, catching the ball out of the backfield, creating first downs, but he can run it inside. He did it quite effectively at Chadron State in Nebraska, set big-time records in Division II.
Now a second down throw for Rivers. Across the formation, he's got a man. That's Allen. And he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
Second down now after the pass completion. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon.
Holding offense.
So he got his hands a little too far outside. The ref caught him, threw the flag. And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12. Following the penalty, here's Gordon. And he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves his sticks.
And that's how you get started and open up a game. Really well-blocked play. Picked up a nice chunk of yardage. If you're the offensive line, that's exactly what you've talked about all week long in your meetings. Establish the line of scrimmage and take control. And it gave their running back plenty of room to rumble.
Now a play fake here on first down. Benjamin with it over the middle. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. It's a gain of 21 that time. And the Chargers are going to have a first down. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. And on this first drive, looks like they want to get that vertical passing game going early.
And they did, and what a warning shot they just fired. If you're not going to back up and play coverage deep, we're going to attack you all game long. And once you adjust to that and you start to back off, then that opens things up underneath. A really nice start for them. Great way to get the game going. Well, the person carrying the ball is always the easy target when things aren't going so well. But I think it's a combination with the Chargers. They've got to get the offensive line going in order to improve those numbers from last year. They weren't very good running it, partner.
No, they were bottom of the AFC, second to last in the entire NFL. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. The starting defense for the Falcons.
Josh Norman was not a first-round pick when he entered the NFL, but he always thought he should be. Never lacked for confidence, and now he plays at a Pro Bowl level.
The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. From the gun, Rivers. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. They come up in an offset eye. And he'll give it here to his running back. Touchdown, Falcons. A great play there. 84 yards. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line, out-leverage. Once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better. It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. It goes as a loss of 6, and now 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Third and long for Rivers. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. Here's Drew Kaiser now. Back deep is Tavon Austin.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Tavon Austin, he's going to go. And he takes it all the way, but there is a flag down, so hold the celebration. This one's coming back.
Illegal blocking the ball. Return team. First down.
And they'll start this drive with very good field position. And to give this time to the tailback. It's a pickup of 14 there. And the Falcons are going to get a first.
So this game's not very far along, and he's already found the end zone once, and now he started this drive with another big gain, another first down run. I've got to wonder if I'm the defensive coordinator. What do I do in this situation? It's only the first quarter, but do I go ahead and sell out and try and slow him down and make him beat me another way? Because the risk is if I don't, he ends up having a monster game.
And they thought they could exploit this defense with some really quick hitters, quick action. They worked on that in practice. We just saw it there.
And we saw them break it down to the fundamentals as well. Each position group had their own little work on it. You know, they worked on a drill here with the receivers, a drill there with the quarterbacks. Then they brought it all together, and now it's paying off in the game.
The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves them with a first and goal.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up the first down.
This will be caught at about the 5. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll bring up a second and goal.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle? And it is still early, just the first quarter. But you start prorating the numbers, and we might be in for some history. I mean, that last run puts him over 100 yards already, and we've still got 3 quarters to go.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Now, this feels like old-school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
Now the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Matt Schaub, a 3-yard run as he kept it himself. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And a special play there by the special teams. It's one thing to fake it. He ran it in for the score.
I think the special teams coach saw something on film in preparation for this game, told the head coach now's the time. He got the green light, and they worked it to perfection.
Here's Bryant for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. After the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Rivers now on 2nd down. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
Partner, the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker, has so many different responsibilities. How excited do you think he was to get home with that blitz?
Yeah, he wants a sack. He got it. One receiver left. That's Allen. Rivers from the gun on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete.
Holding offense. The penalty is declined.
Here's Drew Kaiser now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Now Austin. So 1 quarter down here in Super Bowl 51. 14-0 is our score. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2 as they take over following the punt with a 1st and 10. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
Looking to throw. And Jones has it over the middle. And he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Falcons. Their big tight end. His 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Falcons will extend their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Bryant now to tack on the extra point. And it is now 21-0. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now San Diego getting set to go. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Now a 2nd down throw for Rivers. Gates has it over the middle. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
Do you get the sense, Brandon, that people are trying to retire Antonio Gates? They keep thinking this is almost the end of the line, and then he keeps making catches like the one we just saw there.
He's the old reliable, you're right, just one of 9 players in the NFL with 100 or more touchdowns. Now Gordon. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
There's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
3rd and short yardage. Rivers. Johnson with a completion over the middle. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Drew Kaiser now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. And here now come the Falcons. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage, if he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
They'll drop the throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, pardon me, the hit sure looks like a simple route, but I think the issue with it is a lot of time when you're making that play, you're actually working your way back inside towards traffic where the big guys are coming from inside out, whether it's defensive ends or linebackers. And a lot of the time, instead of securing the pass, your eyes might stray towards the middle and wonder where the big hit's going to come from. Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
They'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there. His second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter.
Here's Bryant for the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. The Falcons defense gearing up as they take the field. They're just hoping for more of the same. Last time they forced the punt that led to a score.
They flipped the field essentially, and that's what you want to do as a defense. Make sure that you put your offense in a great position to run their offense and put the ball in the end zone. That's exactly what they accomplished.
Well, they accomplished that last time. What will they accomplish this go-around?
Defense.
And a big face mask penalty here, 15 yards.
You never want to get your hands up in the face mask area because your fingers can get tangled up there, and that can hurt you as a player.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Super Bowl 51 after this. A reminder, coming up at the intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Larry Ridley and the crew in Orlando with our EA Sports halftime report. second down. Rivers throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Melvin Gordon there, and it's third down. So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
Working out of the gun, Rivers. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Here's Austin. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And it'll be Falcon football as they take possession. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. He's been in a pretty good group. They actually have more yards on the ground than through the air, but both have been good, pretty balanced.
And have we ever met a coach when we've talked to him before a game that had...
It's a foot race. He's at the 30. Touchdown, Falcons. Their big tight end with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out. Bryant now to tack on the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Yeah, after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. Little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. And they're going to speed things up here. Rivers now to throw on first down. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Rivers now on second down. Gates with a grab. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. On 1st and 10, Rivers. Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now a second down throw for Rivers. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. They come out here in the eye. Rivers now gives to Woodhead. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Charles, I know it's hard when live bullets are flying, but you cannot keep your hand up around the face mask area.
It is absolutely inexcusable nowadays. We talk about target areas all the time. You have to aim lower so that your hand doesn't get involved in the face mask.
Rivers on first down. Over the middle, and it's caught. Keenan Allen. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. They'll put two receivers left, two to the right. First down, Rivers. He gets it left side to Johnson. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. And quickly they get to the line. They'll throw again. Rivers. This is Gordon on the dump off. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. To the air again here, Rivers. And Gates has got it. And the Chargers' all-time touchdown leader has another one. Antonio Gates as the first half is winding down. And the Chargers are able to strike for 6. And the lead drops from 34 to 27. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter.
All right, here we go.
They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to float this one deep right side. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Jason Barrett. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So as the set designers rush out here to get us ready for the spectacle to come at intermission, these two teams will head to the locker room in Super Bowl 51 from Houston. As we send you on over to Orlando, where we'll check in with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports halftime report. Larry?
So let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Third down from inside the 40. Under duress, and the pass is picked off. Falcons will come away with the football. Now following the interception, they'll break free of the pack, and he'll take this 85 yards for the score. That puts them up by a touchdown. Falcons line up at the 3. And he caps off the 6-play drive with the score. The lead now at 14. Falcons have it early in the second. Pass coverage will break down here. And this play will go for 6. Falcons up now by 21. Fourth down from the 44. Here we get a quick pass and completion. And nobody can stop him on this long touchdown. That pushes the lead to 28. Now to late in the first half. Coverage breaks down here, and after the short pass, he'll score as the blowout is on. Staying late in the second, Phillip Rivers would find his mark in coverage, and it's going to be caught for the touchdown. They still trail big. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. The second half of Super Bowl 51 still to come as we rejoin Brandon and Charles in Houston.
This will be taken in at the 1. And some good coverage there by the kick team as they'll bring him down at the 16-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll be a second down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now back to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Oh, he's able to out-muscle him here as he pulls it in. Touchdown, Falcons! Their dangerous wide receiver with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Falcons add on.
Partner, one of the cardinal rules of defense is that if you're in position to make a tackle, you need to make it.
Well, and if you can't make the tackle before that, you just got to knock that ball down, right?
Yeah, something has to happen because we saw the end result there. Missed tackle, he goes all the way. It takes it for a touchdown.
Here's Bryant for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Now a look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
And he's just going to get rid of this thing to no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. One receiver left, that's Allen. Third and long for Rivers. Dumps it off to Woodhead. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up fourth down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
This is brought in at the 21. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall. Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they run successful.
And now the up man has it. It's a fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. 6 yards on the pickup, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on fourth down. So they snap it straight to the up man. What's his responsibility? Normally, obviously, just to protect, but he's got to be a guy that can be pretty agile too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, because you're talking about a guy, even in protection, he may have to slide up and down the line of scrimmage to pick up someone who comes through trying to block a punt. So you know he's got that ability to move, but oftentimes it's usually a running back, a fullback, someone who's used to having the ball in their hands, and he's able to pick up the first down. I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback, because he had no chance to block him.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line.
Well, you know what they say about the best laid plans, partner. I mean, this one was totally foiled. They played for the pass. The idea was if you want to run it, that's fine. We'll rally up and make the tackle, except they didn't get it done.
Yeah, third and long, and a big run there. How about that? They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And the 8th play on this drive coming up.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and what you need to do? Sometimes you don't have to worry about that. That's just smart football. That kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on third down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Caught on the right side by Jones. It's a gain of 4, and it gets him the first.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
And this is caught at the 8. 22 yards on the pickup there. And the Falcons are going to have a first and goal. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about it, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic,
And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball out of the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Now a second down throw for Rivers. Benjamin with it over the middle. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Rivers now on second down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz, and the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Throwing Rivers. He'll drop it underneath for Woodhead. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. Here's Drew Kaiser now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. He'll look to set up his blockers. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass. Defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Eluding the pressure right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw again. And Jones has it over the middle. And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. Red zone opportunity. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Casey Hayward makes the tackle.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
He'll look to throw. His throw caught at about the 5. And he's brought down. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal. And now they're in the hurry up. They'll set up a throw. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Falcons add on.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. And that's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was...
Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. It's the former Patriot Devin McCourty. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. A gain of 3, second down.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down. 2 minutes to go in Super Bowl 51 from Houston. We're back to crown a champion after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout. And now we're set to get going. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. Oh, the lonely punter inside their own 20 figured for sure they were punting this away. They did not, and the move does not pay off.
You think someone put up the stop signal when he started to trot over the sideline? Nope, no, son. We're going to go for it here. Usually when you see a team do these types of things, it's because they're so dominant that they don't believe that they can get beat. This is much more of what you see in a high school game, maybe some of those mismatched college games. But in the NFL, any given Sunday is a phrase they take seriously. And guess what? That was probably going to backfire.
To throw is Rivers. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead. And unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College. Not a heck of a lot of fun. I still remember playing, and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
I bet that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You're just trying to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
And the Charger defense now making their way back out onto the field. They have not had their best performance tonight in this one, partner.
You know, it's tough. I don't know how it is for you, but building towards a night game, that crescendo.
I didn't play.
But
you tell me.
But us getting ready to broadcast, sometimes you want to do it a little bit earlier, right? You feel your peak coming. Maybe that's what happened with them, that somewhere in the day they should have kicked off earlier because by the time we got to the night, things tended to fall flat.
Room here to run. And he's brought down after a good gain. A big hitter there from deep in their own territory. 34 yards.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you're talking about a defense being on their toes. They don't know what's going to hit them next at this point.
No, they went from toes to heels, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to the toes part.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. Going to give this time to the tailback. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. Offense needs something here on second down. It is second and long.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So the offensive unit called the TO. And now we are ready to resume play.
I see an extra DB on the field now for San Diego.
Yeah, indeed. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
And how about this? Fourth and long, and they're going to go for it.
Back 99 Philly, here we go now. Back 99 Philly, here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Chargers will get the football back in excellent field position. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
And it's over. The Lombardi Trophy belongs to the Falcons. Yes, the Atlanta Falcons are the Super Bowl champions. And when this moment comes, I think you look back at all the blood, sweat, and tears, the offseason, the workouts, training camp, week 1, 2, 3, all building up now to say you're a Super Bowl champion. It's worth it.
It certainly is, and rarely do we have a team that hoists the Lombardi Trophy that didn't have their share of bumps along the way, didn't have to face some adversity in the journey, and now they get to just enjoy it and revel in it. And all offseason, they'll be signing their autographs with Super Bowl champion underneath it.
And they are the Super Bowl champs. The Lombardi Trophy is theirs, and so are bragging rights for an entire season. What a season it has been. Feels like we have been there every step of the way. Our entire Davis. For all those guys, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off. We'll talk to you next season right here on EA Sports.